In a world where war is never far away, it's important to understand the motivations of the countries involved. The coastal defense systems are designed to protect coastlines from attack by ships. But in recent months, Russia has been using these systems to strike Ukrainian cities and infrastructure. Coastal defense systems can be used to launch missiles with a range of up to 500 kilometers, which means they could reach major Ukrainian cities like Kyiv, Kharkiv, and Odessa. These systems could also be used to target critical infrastructure, such as power plants and airports. So, why would Russia use these systems to strike Ukrainian cities? One possibility is that it's a warning to NATO countries not to get involved in the war. If NATO were to send troops or weapons to Ukraine, Russia could threaten to use these systems to attack NATO targets. Russia has been clear that it sees NATO expansion as a threat to its security. If NATO were to send troops or weapons to Ukraine, it would be seen as a major escalation of the conflict. Russia could respond by using its coastal defense systems to strike NATO targets, such as military bases or ships. This would be a significant escalation, and it could lead to a wider war between Russia and NATO. However, it's also possible that Russia is simply bluffing. They may be hoping that the threat of using these systems will deter NATO from getting involved in the war. Another possibility is that Russia is using these systems to test their capabilities. The Russian military has not had much opportunity to use these systems in combat before. So the war in Ukraine provides a chance for them to see how they perform in real-world conditions. A third possibility is that Russia is simply trying to inflict as much damage as possible on Ukraine. The use of coastal defense systems allows Russia to strike targets deep inside Ukraine without having to put its own troops at risk. This could be a way for Russia to inflict as much damage as possible on Ukraine without having to commit to a full-scale invasion. Of course, this could also lead to a wider war. If NATO were to respond to Russian attacks on Ukrainian cities, it could escalate the conflict into a wider war between Russia and NATO. These are just some of the possible reasons for Russia's use of coastal defense systems in Ukraine. The true reasons for this decision may not be known for sure. But one thing is for sure: the use of these systems is a significant escalation in the conflict. These systems have the potential to cause significant damage to Ukrainian cities and infrastructure, and they could also lead to NATO intervention.